This is your brother Xavier. You're on my channel, Living Life Without Sight. And I'm here with my brother, Ronald X. Stewart, AKA Minister Hop, AKA Captain Gaddafi. And he's going to take us into a little history. Last time we talked about Lieutenant Richard Adex. And I would like for him to give a story or some experience he had with Captain Yusuf Shah. Brother Hop, it's on you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Xavier. Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to share my experience. In the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we thank him, I should say, for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and all those that came and was responsible for giving me all the experience that I had to make me the man that I am today. I greet the viewers, the people that are listening, whatever medium you're from. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I came of age in the Nation of Islam. I came in when I started processing when I was about 15 years old. And when I turned 16, I was a member, or inducted, I should say, into the full body of the FOI, the Fruit of Islam.
Yes, sir.
At that time, I had the opportunity, the pleasure, the experience to be trained to some great, great men. Lieutenant Richard Adex, as you mentioned, First Lieutenant Clarence 7X, and of course, the great Yusuf Shah. When I came in, he was Captain Joseph.
Yes, sir.
This man was a very, very unique individual. I, at this time, understand the fullness of this man now than I did when I was a young boy. I was only a teenager, 16, 17 years old. But there was no one. He was very unique. In fact, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he was irreplaceable of all of his followers and officials in the Nation of Islam. He was like a father. Then he was like a trainer of men. He knew to train men. He had this very uncanny, unique ability to train men. He just knew what needed to be. He knew what we needed to have in terms of responsibilities and obligations. And now I understand why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made him the captain of the FOI, the East Coast captain of the FOI. And he was respected throughout the Nation of Islam for many, many years. Of course, you know, Brother Xavier, and many listeners or viewers may know, he was the captain of Minister Malcolm X. And the secretary at that time was Secretary Maceo Haziz. And of course, he worked under Minister Farrakhan also. However, I can remember one of the most significant things that stood out in my mind because of his ability to take care of the men and make sure that they were well-rounded, because all came from his spirit of Islam, what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave him. I remember the FOI was on Monday nights when I came in.
Yes, sir.
And this particular Monday night, I don't know if it was in January or February, but it was extremely cold. I mean, below zero. And we would come to the FOI class regardless if it was hot, cold, or in between. You had to show up. And the only way you didn't show up, you had to be sick, working, or dead. Okay.
Wow.
That was the criteria. All right. But in the night, it was freezing, below zero. And the FOI was full that night, meaning wall to wall, black men, clean suits. I mean, covered down.
Yes, sir.
And Lieutenant Clarence, the Captain Joseph, who was conducting the class at that night, because sometimes he wasn't there. But anyway, Lieutenant Clarence ran up to the rostrum. Brother Captain, you know, there's a man here without a coat. This FOI, one of our brothers, he don't have a coat. The brother had come to the FOI with just a suit jacket. I mean, it was, I don't know how he wore that cold that particular night. So the captain, you know, he's a very animated, he was a very keen, I mean, because he could see things that other brothers couldn't see. He would always dress the lieutenant down. Didn't you see that man, brother lieutenant? His shoes was run over. You understand? He had ring around the collar. But anyway, he saw it and he said, all right. And this very much moved me. I've never seen anything like it. He said, brother, first officer, line the men up. So they lined all the men up. Must have been maybe about 200 brothers or more at the FOI that night. And lined us up. He said, Brother Clarence, line the men up in columns because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mr. Muhammad, he used to say it like that. Mr. Muhammad wants us to be right, you know. And so he told them to line the brothers up in columns, and 4 or 5 columns, each brother facing each other. And he had the brother who didn't have a coat to walk through the ranks as you're walking to columns up and down. And each brother, he said, whatever you have that you can give to this brother, put it in his hand. The brother walked to the ranks and brothers were grabbing money out of their pocket. Dollar bills now.
Yes, sir.
5, 10s, 20s, 100s. And as the brother would walk through, they were pulling it. Money was dropping on the floor. It was so much. And they put the money in his hand. And he walked all the way through until he reached the last column in the last brother. The brother had so much money in his hand, in his pockets. And the lieutenants had to pull money off the floor to put in his pockets. He had so much money, he could buy 10 coats that night.
Wow. Praise be to Allah.
I had never seen and experienced anything like that. The Captain Yusuf Shah was that kind of man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that instilled in me from what he taught us, how he trained us to take care of your brother. If you have a bowl of soup, I mean, that was the example. If you have a bowl of soup and your brother didn't, you share half of that bowl of soup.
That's real.
Him. And if he doesn't have a coat, then all of us would share what we have to make sure that brother had a coat. And I remember the first year of Savior's Day, maybe 1966 or 67. And of course, I went on a bus. We traveled that night and got there early in the morning to the Richard L. Jones Armory in Chicago, Illinois on Warbass Avenue. Okay. And
yes, sir.
It was a great experience. The first time I saw the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in person. That's another discussion. But anyway, I got home morning. Of course, I wasn't driving at the time. So as I got off the train, I got on the bus. I still had my bags with me. And I got off, the bus stopped on the corner of my house. I lived in the end of the block in Coney Island in Brooklyn. And as I was turning the corner, coming around, a car came around. I mean, I think the captain was driving a Cadillac at the time. The car came around and it pulled up almost right near me, and the windows came down, and it was Brother Captain Yusuf Shah. He said, "Assalamu alaikum, my brother. How did you enjoy Chicago? How did you enjoy Savior's Day?" I said, "Fine, sir. I enjoyed it." "That's your first Savior's Day, right?" I said, "Yes, sir." And in my mind, I said, "This man is spying on me." Me up. I said, you know, of course, later on, I realized that he was looking over the flock. The messenger knew that there were young brothers coming into the mosque, and out of the Captain Yusuf Shah's nature, out of his care and comfort and nurturing of us, he was looking after us. And I always remember, I would never forget that. A great, great brother.
Yes, sir.
Like him.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
One of the pillars of Islam. Yes, sir.
One of the pillars of Islam.
That's right. Beautiful. That's a beautiful story, brother.
Sure.
And may his name always live in our hearts and our minds, and the work that he has put in to build this nation.
Let me just say one more thing about him. I saw him later, so after the messenger departed, I saw him later This was in the 90s. I'm not sure, maybe 96. I was a minister in Queens, and we were at an event. This black group of brothers, Al Sharpton, was running for one of the political positions. I don't know if it wasn't the presidency, it was another position. But anyway, these black businessmen invited me and the brothers in Queens to come to the meeting. It was held in their restaurant on Fouch. Yeah, they had a gas station and a restaurant, a diner, and in the basement, beautiful. And I went down there. I had Brother Patrick with me. There was maybe about 10, 15 brothers with me. And they came down with me. And as we were waiting there, Al Sharpton came along with Don King. Captain Yusuf Shah was with them. He was chauffeuring Don King. He was a chauffeur for Don King at this time.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes,
the nation had already fell and got up again. And when I saw him and the Carlisle brothers, they got a chance to let me speak. As I got up there, I said, I would not be the man that I am if that man, and I pointed to Captain Yusuf Shah. I didn't particularly put him in that position because I knew him captain of the FOI of the whole East, where he commanded men.
Yes, sir. Thousands
of men. Was at that time, I understood, a chauffeur for Don King. And I told everybody in there, I said, that man is a giant among men.
That's right.
Wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be standing. You wouldn't even invite me here.
Come on.
A little uncomfortable with that. And I made every one of those brothers salute him. And he was a little taken by that. He was, no, brother, you know, I said, nah. I said, you will forever be my captain.
Praise be to God. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great man. Thank you, brother, for that.
Yes, sir.
Praise to Allah. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we're moving on.
Come on.
On this discussion.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about
yes, sir.
When you first heard that the minister was coming back and you saw him, I believe it was at Baruch College.
Yes, sir.
Take it from there?
Yes, sir. All right. I believe this is 1970, late 77, early 78. I believe. I'm not sure of the dates. I have to, check. Anyway, before I met the minister at this event, I was just home because Wallace Muhammad was over the Nation of Islam and things were changing, and I was somewhat disenchanted, and I'd heard that Minister Farrakhan was rebuilding the nation or trying to bring the nation back or starting his own movement. That was the word. He was starting his campaign. That's what was being said, around. So I heard that he was going to be in Springfield, New Jersey, but it was a big snowstorm and I wasn't able to make it out, but I did get a tape, but it wasn't the tape was kind of scratchy. You couldn't hear it that much.
Yes,
but
sir.
I could tell he was teaching, the message is teaching. But anyway, I heard that that he was appearing at Baruch College. It was in February, it was Black History Month. And the Black Student Union, they were called Black. It was an acronym for something, Black Leaders, whatever. But it was called Black. And they were featuring him. And me and my brother-in-law went, Brother Ali Farad Muhammad. We went there and the place was packed. There were students, faculty, wall-to-wall people.
Yes, sir.
So Mr. Farrakhan had mounted to Rostam. He had a pinstripe suit on, a red bow tie. He still had an afro. Sitting with him was Brother Akbar.
Yes, sir.
At the time known as Brother Larry Forex, Brother Akbar Muhammad, the international representative of Minister Farrakhan, and a young Al Sharpton, who had an afro, of course, and a beard. Also, with Hamza Hafiz was there. He was and a whole line of brothers from Newark, New Jersey. I knew they were from Newark, because Newark has a kind of different look. I can
Like
tell
that fade, the jersey they call it.
they had that jersey fade and them.
Mhm.
And I noticed another brother, light blue suit and a bow tie. That was Brother Linwood X, who now is known as Brother Abdul Kareem Muhammad, the general. He was there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm checking this out. I said, whoa, what is this? Yes, sir.
Mm.
I felt good. And
Excited,
anyway,
huh?
he was teaching hard that day. Hard. And then he said that he wants to rebuild the original Black nation. That's the language he used at the time.
Yes, sir.
Rebuild the original Black nation. And after he subject, which I was totally convinced that he was back with the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because he had a few years before had been with Wallace Muhammad. But anyway, after he got off he was talking to some of the students, and then they ushered him. Therefore, I ushered him to a car outside. So me and Brother Ali followed. And he got in the car. It was a gold Cadillac that belonged to Brother Minister Kareem, a Seville. And
Seville, yes.
Yeah, he was, yes, sir. He was sitting on, I guess the Seville was in the 70s model, but he was sitting on the passenger side in the back where he was right in the window. So we knocked on the window and the window came down. We said, Brother Minister, Assalamu alaikum. We want to get in touch with you. He wrote down his phone number. He said, listen, get in touch with me. This is my phone number. And we greeted him and they sped off. Now, I don't know how long after that, but maybe a month or so, or could have been shorter than that, could have been weeks. My brother-in-law called me up. He said, listen, I've been talking to Minister Farrakhan. He's going to be in New York and he wants to meet. He said, yes. He said, would you like to come? I said, sure. He said, he's going to meet us on this particular day at 8 a.m. in the morning in front of the Americana Hotel, which is directly across the street from Madison Square Garden. That was the name of the hotel then. It's another name now.
Yes, sir.
But I said, yes, sir. So we got there about 7:30 and we waited. It was either a fall or a spring day. I believe it was fall because we weren't wearing any coats. It was a nice warm day. And at 8 o'clock sharp, we noticed the minister across the street, coming across the street towards us. He had a beige leisure suit. He still had kind of an afro. He was a little overweight at the time. And he came across the street. We embraced, we greeted each other. And we said, thank you, Brother Minister. He said, no, thank you for allowing me to you. And we were so happy that day because I hadn't seen him maybe in about 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Or him at other events before that, but I mean, close up, one-on-one. So he said, we said, all right, let's go. We noticed there was a restaurant there called Brew Burger. It's similar to what Applebee's is today. So he said, in there, we ordered some coffee and whole wheat toast, and we went right after. We asked them every question we could think of. That the minister lied to us. Is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings real Islam? Is Master Farad Muhammad God? I mean, we were asking everything. We asked them, where have you been? You was the national representatives of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I mean, we would talk, everything. We said, is Wallace Muhammad teaching true Islam? And I mean, we sat there from 8 in the morning to 8 that evening, or that night, I should say.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's 12 hours. We were just going back and forth. He was talking about his experience. He was telling me different personal things about the messenger, how he met him. He talked about his experience with Malcolm. He talked about when he went away. He said he was in California and he had forgot about the nation and he was going to go into music again. He was going to make a movie on the life of Max. Said that, he was telling us everything. We were just asking questions. He said, brother, ask me anything. I said, is the messenger alive? He said, well, brother, I believe he is. He said, but that's another discussion. I said, brother minister, if you were the messenger's spokesperson, the national spokesman of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that was the term we used.
Yes,
and
sir.
the representative. And he said, brother, he said, listen, he said, it got dark. He said, the lights went out. He said, whenever the lights go out in a place, he said, everything goes totally dark. You can't see. You're going to stumble. You're going to fall. You might even trip and kill yourself. And he said, but if you in the darkness, if you there for a while, your eyes has to adjust to the light. And
Yes,
it's true, you know? And he said, that's what happened, brother. He said, that's what happened to me. He said, I went to sleep. I went in darkness. And he said, but I'm awoke now. He said, but I want to, you know, and I thought that was very, very honest. And I thought humble. And I appreciated that, because he could have easily said, brother, I just went away. I was just chilling. I was just waiting. You know, I mean, he could have made up anything to protect to protect his character.
Right.
Yes, I respect it. You know,
yes, sir.
Forthright. Yes, sir. So he said he was going to rebuild the nation. He asked us, was he interested? And we said, brother, yes, sir, brother minister, because you awoke, brother. He said, He said, no, you are. He said, I've listened to y'all in questions. I knew y'all are not asleep. He said, I'm still trying to, you know, moving, you know. And so he said, listen, I want you to get in touch with two people. He said, Bernard Kushmir and Minister Burke. We said, we know Minister Burke. Yeah, he was a school teacher. He was in the University of Islam. Yes, sir. He gave us Brother Burke's number.
Right.
He said, listen, you get in touch with them. Stay in contact with me. And at the time, we didn't know he had study groups all over the country. We didn't know. So we did get in touch with Minister Burke, and Minister Burke said he was in the process of finding a place to meet, and that he would let us know when and where we would be meeting. But do you mind if I take a little drink of water?
Go ahead, brother. Clear your throat.
Excuse me?
Clear your throat. Come on.
Oh, brother. Yes, sir. So Brother Minister Burke called us back and said, listen, I found a place. We're going to be meeting at the Harlem State Office Building, the Adam Clayton Power State Office Building on 25th Street. I knew that building was there because that's the same site where the old bookstore used to be. Michaud's bookstore, when you see pictures of them in the background. Yeah. Yes, sir. The bookstore that was ran by Louis Michaud. But anyway, it was called the House of Consciousness. But anyway, he said, we're going to meet there. He said, listen, he said, we're going to have to go under another name. We can't say the Nation of Islam meetings. He said, we're going to have to have educational lectures because they don't allow religious or political meetings there. It has to be strictly social, cultural, or educational. All right. I said, that's good. So this is 1978. We're there. It was a Wednesday night. I believe he had a Wednesday night because that's the nights we were meeting on. It was a Wednesday night. So I told my two sisters, Sharon and Stephanie, my wife, Brother Ali Farad, Brother Thomas, wife, sister Mary, Elizabeth. I think Sister Mary is his wife, and Sister Elizabeth was his sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law, right.
Right. They were there. I don't know how they found out about it. They're from Queens, so they might have had some connection with Minister Burke's wife. I never knew. And another sister by the name of Sister Virgie Muhammad. She was a principal. She had worked at the University of Islam at one point, but she became a principal in the Jackie Robinson School in Crown Heights on Franklin and Empire Boulevard. And she ran that school, brother. They hated her. She had that school like the nation. They didn't like her. But that was the numbers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And as time went on, a few others came. different brothers and sisters at different points in time,
Mhm.
who helped us really to start promoting the meetings, because people had to, we had a few flyers that we gave out, but we wasn't able to promote it like we wanted to, because we had to keep it on the down low, because they would throw us out of the building. You know,
Right.
we didn't want that to happen. So anyway, on my way to work one morning, I was got off the bus at the train station in Coney Island, and as I was coming across the street, I seen two brothers along with two sisters in their MGT garments, the blue ones, the little children, and they had they had their Muslim garment on, all in the style of what the messenger taught us.
Yes, sir.
And across the street, I said, "Assalamu alaikum, my brothers." They said, "Wa alaikum salam." I said, "Listen." I said, "The nation is back, brother. Minister Farrakhan is teaching." And then I can hear the train, because I didn't want to miss the train. I would have been late. So I didn't stay long enough to give them any details. And I rushed up in the train, and I got on the train, and I said, "Man, I didn't even give them the information." So maybe about a month later, I got off the train, and there was Brother Harold and Brother Jerome. Minister Harold, both of them had originally come in to the nation in Philadelphia under Minister Jeremiah Shabazz.
Yes, sir.
And I think Brother Harold in Far Rockaway. So they were in Coney Island to go on the rides, with their family, taking the children to the rides. And then I got off, when I got off the bus, they were there again. It was just them two. No, it was Brother Harold. No, Brother Jerome was in there the second time. It was Brother Harold.
Yes, sir.
And he said, "Brother," he said, "I waited at this place every day for the last 4 weeks, hoping that you would show up." He waited at the same time he saw me. That's right.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Glory to Allah.
Yes, sir. And so I explained to him where we were meeting at and the time of the meeting. He said, "I'm coming." He brought him and his family. I believe Brother Jerome came one time with him. So he said, "We got to get the word out." So he said, "I used to know that the minister spoke on the radio, and when he was in the minister of New York City." He said, "We need to find out what station." So it was WWRL, and that's where Bob Law used to be a commentator on. So Harold was able to contact the people at WWRL, and then we would get tapes of the minister, tapes that he was making during that period.
Yes, sir.
And we drove to New Jersey. That's where the station was at. It had it was a white building. I'm not sure what part of New Jersey, because I remember going over the George Washington Bridge down, and after a few miles, we went to the station. It had a big satellite, and the arrangements was made that they would play the tape half an hour. They would play Minister Farrakhan's message every half an hour. I mean, for a half an hour. And I don't remember what day or what time of day it was played, or it could have been on a weekend. I don't recall. But if I went back and I found some of the flyers, I can see it. But anyway, Minister Farrakhan would speak. But after the speech, we asked him, he said, "Could we announce, make an announcement?" He said, "Sure, but it has to be short." And we couldn't, Brother Latif, we couldn't tell him where we were at. We had to say, "If you were interested learning more about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and rebuild the Black nation, please call this number." And we started getting calls, left and right from all over. And then brothers started coming. Brother James Gresham, Brother Kim, Brother Henry, Sister Alasia, Brother Rex. They were coming up to the state office building. Brother Lance. There was this Brother Anthony and Brother Chris and Brother Wayne and Sister Rosetta. All of them started coming up. Then Brother Akbar at this time was coming in every other week, because he was in St. Louis. He had a study group St. Louis. So he would come every other week. Minister Burke would teach, and then Brother Akbar would come in, and sometimes he didn't make it in. And I was acting captain at the time, organizing the brothers, because we were doing checking and anything, like that. And then but in the Savior's Day of 1978, 79, we were at the State Office building, and we had a Savior's Day. Brother Burke was actually able to secure the building for a Friday night, and Savior's Day fell on a Friday, February 26, 1979. And Brother Burke said, we're going to have a surprise. So the sisters cooked, we bought food, we had beverages, and the place was pretty crowded, and through the door came Minister Farrakhan. We weren't expecting him. And he came in, he did a very short speech. And he knew we couldn't have the building that long. He said, I'm not going to take too long, brothers and sisters. And he thanked us for, starting the group. And he was telling us there's groups around the country, but I can't tell you who they are because the enemy will try to destroy the birth before it happens. And so after that, I don't know what, sometime later, one Sunday, I was standing in the hallway and making sure everything was secure. And I had a couple of brothers with me, Brother Richard, Cheese, you remember?
Yes, sir. Anglo-American.
Right. Through the door, off the elevator, came Brother Kareem, at the time, Brother X.
Yes, sir.
And about maybe 10 brothers from New Jersey. And you can tell they were from New Jersey, And he took me aside. He said, brother, I heard about you. He said, what's your name? I said, Brother Gaddafi. He said, yeah, I heard about you. What's going on here? I said, well, we having the meetings. And he said, how's things going here, brother? I said, people are coming. We just need to expand a little more. He told me, he said, brother, he said, Minister Farrakhan asked me to be the minister, and I want you to work with me, brother. He said, I'm not no polished minister. I don't know that Quranic and Bible scripture. He said, but damn it, I could work. We can go to work, brother, and build it. I said, yes, sir. And he said, we got to get an N.O.I. He said, we got to train. I said, yes, sir. So he told Brother Burke, he said, get a night. Let us get a night. So we started getting Monday nights along with Sundays where we met. We started meeting on Sundays at the State Office building for regular teachings, and then Monday night. So Monday night, we started training the brothers up and having our FY class. And, it was a very critical time, but it's very, very rewarding because you're at that level, the groundbreaking level. Sometimes you wonder if it's going to continue, and sometimes you feel fulfilled because you're grinding, things.
You're part of something, right?
Right. You start, and so that's where and from there, of course, there's more history after that. In it must have been 1980, 79, 80. He came back to New York City, the imminent return of Louis Farrakhan. Were you there, Brother Lantin? Did you come?
No, sir. My mother was there, but I didn't make that one. That was May 18th.
Yeah.
At City College.
May 18th, 1980. The place jam packed. We didn't even expect all those people to come. In fact, it was only Allah, the all-wise God, that protected us because we didn't expect. They could have overwhelmed us. Yeah. And it was kind of overwhelmed because we had brothers checking, and we didn't have the numbers of brothers and sisters that we needed. Some came from New Jersey and DC and Connecticut. And we were checking people. People were coming with knives and guns and cameras and watches and all the stuff that they couldn't bring in. And we had to check that stuff. People didn't need, we had to give that stuff back because, we just didn't have the ability to secure a lot of that stuff, you know. But he taught that day.
Yes, sir.
From there, I mean, many brothers and sisters came. We did the best advertising we could. And right after that, they told us we had to leave the state office building. You know, we were locked out, brother. And
Yes, sir.
so we had to find a place. And we went into Crown Heights, Eastern Parkway, and Utica Avenue. We met in the basement at McDonald's. Okay.
Come on now.
We didn't
Yes,
have
sir.
we didn't have a home. And then we met there for a couple of weeks. Brother Kareem was the minister. And sometimes we just met for a few minutes. And we took charity, gave each other the greetings, assalamu alaikum, and we moved out. And then
Yes,
found out Brother Ramza, I think, helped us find across the street, there was a place called the Wisco Manor. And dance hall ran by one of the brothers from Grenada. And it's cold in there, freezing. He wouldn't put on, you know, he wanted more money. So he figured he'd turn down the heat.
Right.
Brother, he said, listen, brother, you got to put up that heat. And of course, after that, we found a place in the Bronx, Parkside Palace.
Right.
Brother Michael, who had been in the nation prior to 75, he was working as our secretary, and he found a place at Mount Eden Avenue on a hill.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And we were there for I'm not sure how long, but I know we found some. They found Brother Ramza again, the meeting mosque that we had on Eastern Parkway and Utica Avenue. I guess you know the address because you lived in there, right?
1110 Eastern Parkway. 1110.
1110 Eastern Parkway.
Yes, sir.
We things begin to move. Things begin to happen. Of course, prior to that, we were able to get in 1979 the first edition of the Final Call newspaper, and I was a New York editor at the time because I had studied a little bit of journalism.
Yes, sir.
So we had the paper, and I never forget the title, "The Ultimate Challenge."
Right, that's it.
The Ultimate Challenge.
Yes, sir.
What you remember the subtitle, The Ultimate Challenge?
I can't remember. I had that paper for so long, but I moved and I lost that paper.
Yes,
So
sir.
I had one of the original copies.
Yes, sir. I still got a few of them around here.
Okay. You
yes,
gotta
sir.
mail me.
Yes, sir. Of course. Yes, sir. Yeah. But anyway, that was our maiden voyage. That was our beginning.
Yes, sir.
Beginning, you know. And maybe sometime in the future we'll take it from there.
Yes, sir.
Brother Latif, and I thank you,
Yes, sir.
brothers and sisters, to hear what my experience.
Yes, sir.
There's more. There's a lot.
Yes, sir.
More. Yes, sir.
Right. But before we close out, you mentioned 1110 Eastern Parkway.
Yes, sir.
You know, our first interview, we talked about, there was an incident that happened when you took us out on a call out down the street from the mosque.
Yes, sir.
You want to take it from there, or?
Yes, sir. I'll take it from there. Of course, we're in Crown Heights.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eastern Parkway and Utica Avenue, the most busiest, I would say, section in Brooklyn. Everybody out of that train station. I think that was the last stop, wasn't it, brother? Yeah.
It was a 4 to 5 train. It was the last stop.
Right. Exactly. So, but that area, there's a place not a few blocks from there, Lincoln Terrace.
Right.
Lincoln. Oh my God. Brother Latif, someone called me. My son, I thought I had the thing on.
We good.
We good? You can see me?
Yes, you can still see him?
Oh, yes, he can't get in. Okay. Yes, sir. All right, we good.
You can see
So
him?
there's park.
You can't see him.
Brother Hot, we can't see you.
I know we can't.
You good now, go ahead.
All right. there's a park called Lincoln Terrace Park. Okay, right
Yes,
up
sir.
on Lincoln Place and Lincoln Terrace. That area right there was a prostitution section, or that was where a lot of our Black sisters made their money prostituting. So as an FOI captain, I took the brothers out that night. It was in the evening. We were selling papers throughout the area. It was a warm evening. And of course, we didn't like the fact that our sisters were being prostituting, and these white men from different parts, they were coming from all over to go there and have their way with our sisters. That's one thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us: we must respect, protect, and elevate our women.
That's right.
Way back to the mosque, we were coming down the block, and we were coming up the block, and we saw a sister in a car with a white man, and with, providing some service to him. So I said, "See this here, brother?" I said, "We don't allow this. This is our community." And I picked up a brick. And I threw it to the window, and it smashed the window. And the guy pulled off. I said, "Always remember, the Black Muslims did it."
We and the brothers, we always talk about that to this day.
Now, I wouldn't do that today.
Right.
But that was our concern and our spirit.
Yes, sir.
To make sure our community was clean, because we knew that couldn't happen nowhere else.
That's right.
So we let him know that, no, you don't come in our community and have your way and do what you want to do with our sisters without.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
Yes. So that's one of the stories, but there are many, many other stories, not, that we had to go through in the reestablishment and the rebuilding of the Nation of Islam in New York and on the East Coast. There's other stories, but I just wanted to share that, brothers. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I guess we got to do a part 3. You just touched the surface. Right.
And part 4 and 5, whatever happens.
There you go. Yes, sir. Yes, brother Hot, brother Captain, brother Minister.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, I like to. Do you have any closing words you'd like to say? We will close this section out.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, brother, for having the ability and the desire and the spirit to post this, because this is our history.
Yes,
this
sir.
Is our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and our offspring 100, 200 years from now needs to know that this happened, so they can have in the ability to know that there were people that came before them.
That's right.
I thank Allah. Always remember Allah, that all of this here came from Allah. The people look at the nation of Islam, but all of this great work, all of this magnificent, majestic things that we saw in the building and the built nation and the rebuilding came from the Spirit of God. And
that's right. And that's the foundation of the movement. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes to really understand that, but that's what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And keep all of us in this time of judgment and trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Hot. And thank everyone for listening. This is your brother Xavier, living life without sight. I'd like to thank my son Kareem, my son Kadir for helping me out with this production. And if you're looking at watching this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. And I need to thank my brother Captain Gaddafi.
Yes, sir.
For this wonderful opportunity, brother. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Original salute. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, sir. All right.
I don't know. Did you bring it down yet?
As you were, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir.